Oh yes, yo chicken bros, what's up? It's your boy Smile here coming at you with a brand new video. And I'm here today to talk to you guys about something very important. That I've noticed in the media sort of world that has been a huge issue for a lot of bigger companies. So first, if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to leave a like, share, subscribe, hit that bell, make a ring a ding ding. And with all that being said, let's get into today's video now, shall we? So if you haven't heard, Batgirl has been canceled. The movie. That Warner Brothers had made. Now people are screaming, get woke, go broke, that sort of rhetoric that you hear. Whether you agree with it or not is up to you. But here's the problem I have. Why would they make a woke movie off of Batgirl? I mean, number one, the only people that would want to watch it are obvious SJWs and people of that nature. And barely any of them are in the MCU sort of atmosphere that I know of. I watch all kinds of people that are huge geeks, somewhat like myself, who enjoy reading comics and playing the superhero video games and things of that nature. And they just want to have a good time. They want to have a bit of escapism for a bit from the real world, because let's face it, the real world is kind of dark. And they already have hundreds of reference points they can make already without having to have this woke stuff. Hundreds of reference points. From comics to games to other movies to TV shows, etc. I don't see a reason for a business to make a move and make this a woke movie. What I think is happening is one of the sad realities of, well, the world in general, and that is corporatization of media. We all know it's been happening, we all know it's going to happen, and it's happening in games too. People are talking about the games are going woke. And I'm not calling wokeness a similar thing to corporatization or that they are the same thing. But people are calling it that, so take it from their side if you want. Thing is, and here's where I'm trying to get at. Over time, we have seen radio shows go corporate. Then, now movies are getting corporate. Video games are starting to get corporatized. A lot of things are doing that, and when we start to see that, there has always been a blow-up of one thing in particular. Indie. Those small businesses. Think about it. When TV started becoming kind of corporatized, what did we get? We got YouTube. We got those new inventions. When YouTube got corporatized, what happened? New ones came out, like, what? I forgot the name of all of them because there's so many. But you get the point. People don't like the corporatization, but it's going to happen. So when all these mainstream games feel boring and lose their charm, it's not because you've gotten older, it's because of corporatization. And I think Warner Bros. Has caught on to that. And that's why they're quitting these movies that are going to do horrible. I mean, they look at She-Hulk. Absolute flop. I mean, in the ratings at least. Maybe the pay was good, but the ratings were a flop. You can say, oh, Smile, what about the critic view? That was a good critic view. The way I've seen it is like this. If you have a high critic view and a high audience view, it's probably a good movie. If you have a high critic view and a low audience view, it's probably going to be pandering to audiences. If you have a high audience view but a low critic view, that's a good movie. But if it's low on both, it's just crap. You don't even need to watch that movie, you know it's crap. If it's low on both, more than likely Saber Spark's going to be making a video on it in the next few months. You get the point. So that's how I kind of go on rating movies myself. When I look at ratings, that's how I think about it. So, when they see that in She-Hulk, the kind of pandering to audience, sort of lazy writing. And I'm not saying this because I hate women or I'm a freaking bigot or whatever. No. The creative writing isn't there. And it's easy to put it there because it's already in the comics. It's already in the movies. You have hundreds upon hundreds of hours of source material to work off of. Yet you refuse to study up on any of it and then pander to audiences. And I think that Batgirl was one of the biggest offenders, and that's why they pulled it. Because they realized it would be better to pull it and make the tax money revenue off of it than to even dare publish it. I mean, they burnt all footage of it. I'm talking like they got rid of everything. And the only reason I can see why is there may be a reflection point, a turning point in the current media. There might be, at least in Warner Bros. Because they can't go on affording this stuff. When you make net deficit after net deficit, eventually, yes, you will go broke. So, when your company is in danger, you can decide, okay, we either continue going down a path that is not working and try to change minds. Don't call people bigots for not liking your stuff. Media has been the #1 influencer. For example, you got all kinds of movies, right? You get opinions off of movies. You can't tell me you don't as a personal viewer. We build the world around us by what we take in, and movies, TV shows, that kind of thing, it sparks imagination. It sparks your thoughts. And that's something that we carry into the real world with us. Why do you think people love video games? Not just for escapism, but for the pure creativity that comes with it. So when Warner Bros. Doesn't have that creativity, that spark, when all they have is the corporateness, their movie is going to be a horrific flop. And I think, personally, that what happened in Batgirl was one of the most corporate movies we would have ever seen. Otherwise, they would have posted it and let themselves take the hit. Like they've done with every single other movie. You may be like, well, smile. This is just Warner Bros. What about big ones like Disney? They'll come soon enough. Believe me. Here's what I'm talking about with free markets and why I'm semi-libertarian when it comes to business. Is logical. Okay? If people don't like what you're selling, they're not going to buy it, and you producing it is going to make you lose money. So, if people continue to hate on Disney's movies that are not good anymore, that are pandering, pretty much, then they're going to lose money until they have no more to work with. That's their biggest problem. And you may be like, well, smile. What about indie developers? They always make some pretty decent stuff. I agree. Indie is a huge and amazing aspect of media. I have always been hugely supportive of indie developers and indie movie makers because of two major reasons. One, they are basically small, low-budget stuff. But two, they're kind of the angst teen in the world of media. They make stuff that can push the limits because they don't have people backing them in stocks that want them to do something. They have more freedom. Which is why if I was to ever make a video game and people be like, hey, you want to join us on this game development team here? I wouldn't say yes. I would much rather be an indie developer who could make video games with my own creative freedom and let the market decide if it was good or not. I would much rather have that freedom than be put in a big business. So what am I getting at with all of this long rant? I think America is starting to move. I can't tell for certain, but I can feel winds of change. And I don't know how good or bad it's going to be, But when the media starts changing, a lot more starts changing. So keep an eye out. I don't know exactly what these changes are going to be, obviously, but I'm getting a weird feeling with that. And Warner Brothers deleting an entire movie is one of the major symptoms of what is going to happen in the near future. With all that being said, though, Yo Man Smile is over and out. Peace.